Hey friend, welcome back to Rocky Mountain Homestead. My name is Angela if you're new, and in today's video I'm going to take you along and share our whole cow haul that we got for this year. Every year we get a whole cow. We are not able to raise our own cattle here. We are not zoned #1 to raise cattle. We don't live in farmland and our property anyway is not favorable to raise much more than what we raise on our property. So we buy locally, and a lot of people have asked in the past, where do we get our cow from? So we get ours from McGregor Ranch up here in Estes Park, and then the meat processor that they use is down the hill in Fort Collins. So I picked up our order today. It was ready. So I am going to be busy this evening. I'm going to share with you the different cuts, some of the different parts and uses that I use of a whole cow, but kind of just in general what a whole cow actually looks like, what you get from it. Our hanging weight was 622 pounds. I did not write out individually all the different weights of the packages, but I did keep track on a piece of paper of how many packages of each that we got. I usually get a lot of steaks, but we did that last year and we actually have a lot of steak left. So I did not really get a lot of steaks. I focused on different parts, especially ground beef, because I feel that's what we go through the most. So I'm going to take you along, and then at the end, for anyone who's interested or never ordered a cow before, whether a quarter, a half, or a whole, I'm going to take you along and share with you what that form actually looks like if you've never done one before, and what your options are when ordering a cow for the different parts that you can get. So I like to make sure nothing goes to waste. I get the oddball parts that nobody usually orders, and I will share that with you also as well, what I'm going to be doing with those things. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, first off, I gotta say I did get a box. I actually didn't even pay anything for it. I told her, that like I love getting the soup bones because I make our own beef stock, which I'm completely out of, and I'll be making that tonight. I'll be canning it and taking you along for that as well. But I did tell her that I love to can our own beef stock, and that I use the fat that we get from our cow to render it down and create tallow for body products and soap. So what she actually gave me was a box. They always have a lot on hand. So I actually got this box, which was really neat. And then the parts over here, I have the beef kidneys. I also have the beef heart, which this will get chopped up and thrown in the freeze dryer to give to the dogs. I make sure nothing goes to waste. And then we have cheek meat, which I'll also be doing as well. A lot of this just goes to the dogs, and then this is the cow tongue. So a lot of the guys my husband works with actually will eat this. They'll do like tacos and stuff like that. That's just not our thing. So I will probably have him give it to one of the guys that works with him. The next cut of meat I have here is the sirloin tip steak, and there are 10 packages of them, and they're roughly around a little over a pound. Over here, I have top round roast. I have 4 packages of that. And then bottom round roast, I have 4 packages of that as well. These are actually really good. They can be tough. You can slow roast them, or these are absolutely great cuts if you are making beef jerky, which I make that from time to time, homemade as well, in the dehydrator. I have 9 packages of T-bone steaks, and these are 2 packs. So obviously, for a family of 10, we would use a couple of these packages at a time. Next up, we have 8 packages of beef sirloin steaks. Up here, I have a bag of just miscellaneous beef dog bones, so our dogs will absolutely love that. I know Aspen outside goes crazy for those. And then I also have knuckle bones, which you can give to the dogs as well, but sometimes I'll use them for stock. And then over here, I have 4 prime rib roasts. They're actually really decent size, so I chose to do that instead of the steaks. I also have 2 whole briskets here that are, once again, really good size. And then I have 2 beef skirt steaks. This is also really good to make street tacos. I think it actually makes really good street tacos, as well as the beef flank steak. That's actually what we use our beef flank steak for. But these are also really good to make beef jerky as well. I've done that in the past and have been really happy with the cuts. But the flank steak and the skirt steak are usually for street tacos. And then over here, I think I have 2 beef livers. Going back down here, I have 3 packages of beef fat, so this will get rendered down and turn into tallow. And then I have 2 packages. I like these because they're really meaty, of the beef soup bones. So this is what I'm going to be using as well this evening. I'm actually going to let this sit out a little bit and thaw a little more, but this is what I will be using for my beef stock. Stew meat. My husband is not really a big fan of beef stew. Some of my kids are, some of my kids aren't. Oh, actually, I'm jumping ahead. So I have 2 packages of beef whole tenderloins. The beef stew meat, I have 17 packages. I usually get this every other year, but a couple of my kids really like the beef stew that I make and pressure can up on the shelf, and it just makes for an easy, quick, convenience type meal. And I know it's not junk I'm giving my kids. And also, being a homeschooling mom of 8 kids, it helps having those things that are quick and easy for lunches, because it gets old, sandwiches and the same old thing every single day. So we like to, they like to have beef stew from time to time. So that will actually be put in the fridge so I can get that pressure canned, because that's really the only thing I do is with the stew meat is actually pressure can it, turn it into beef stew, and put it on the shelf. Next up, one of our absolute favorites is their beef short ribs. I love these. I think I got, let me look at my sheet. I have 8 packages of the short ribs. So our family likes these. I have a recipe on my channel. It's from a while ago. It's a little bit older, so don't expect it to be like a really great quality video, but I was actually in a hurry running out the door, and I think my husband actually finished up the video for me, but it's a really good recipe that I shared with you guys, my favorite way of cooking the beef short ribs that we get. This time around, because we go through so much ground beef, I actually, and this is the first time, usually it's packed in 2 pounds, so each bag is usually 2 pounds of meat. I don't know what went wrong, but these are only 1 pound packs, so this is going to be interesting to get into the freezer. In my organizers that I have, usually the packs are taller, but we use for our family at least 4 pounds for a meal, if not more. So it looks like a lot, but really, if you take 4 or 5 packs per meal, it doesn't stretch too far. But I got a total of 191 pounds of ground beef. So that's actually a lot of ground beef. But like I said, that is the main thing that we use the most in our dinners. Okay, I'm going to share with you what this form actually looks like here. So I folded over the top because that has our personal information on it, but what it'll look like, let me see if I can block it. Right here at the top, it says like the kill date, the tag number, the carcass weight, and then you have the option of either a whole cow, a half cow, or a quarter cow. So you just circle that. And then they always send over through email whatever I got the previous year. So in 2024, this is kind of what I got, and this is what the sheet looks like. So you can choose your roasts, your steaks, and if you want it ground. So you can, I actually need to double check my order too, because I'm pretty sure I did the burger patties again. I might be missing a box or 2, actually. I need to check that. I need to double check that, because I know we got a lot more than this last year, and this cow is actually the biggest cow we ever got from them. So I need to double check that. I might be missing a box or 2, because I definitely got some chuck roasts, and I'm not seeing any chuck roasts on the counter. Okay, that's another issue. Okay, so steak thickness. You can pick and choose your steak thickness in the number of steaks per pack. And you have the choice where you can pick, do you want chuck roast, or do you want to turn that cut of meat into the steaks, or do you want to grind it? Same with that. So as you can see here, you really get to pick whatever works best for your family. And then like flank steak, do you want that cut or do you want that ground? And like I said, this year, I know I got a lot of ground meat, but I know I also got chuck roasts, and I don't see those. So going to double check that. And then at the end, what I really like is it lets you choose whether you want these. And like I said, I don't like anything going to waste. So we just go ahead and get all the parts. I always circle yes to all of those. And I am going to say I know for a fact I am missing stuff now, because I did do the oxtails as well. And yeah, we're definitely missing some stuff. So I'm gonna have to call them tomorrow, because I know I also got the burger patties too. That was really convenient having them in the freezer, but this is basically what it looks like blank. And then I like to see what I got the previous year. I always go through our freezers first and inventory them first just to see what we already have left. And like I said, I had a lot of steaks left. I did have a couple roasts, but like the ground beef were completely wiped out of, so I'm happy to have that back in our freezer. But you really have a lot of options, and I like to kind of switch it up every year. So every other year, I'll basically get this, and then I switch up the cuts that we have. All right, you guys, well, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to get a lot of this put up in the freezer, the majority of it, and then I'm definitely calling tomorrow. I'm glad I decided to go over the form with you guys. Otherwise, that wouldn't have stood out to me. I am missing a few things, so I'll have to give them a call in the morning. But other than that, I'm going to leave a couple things out, and I am going to share with you different ways that I use the parts of the cow that we get. I'm going to take you along as I pressure can our beef stock, kind of show you how I use the bones for that, and also when I render down the fat, I'll be sharing with you how to use the tallow, different recipes and ways that we use tallow in our home. And yeah, I'm also going to take those oddball parts that a lot of people probably don't know what to do with and share with you how I get that preserved and how that's used in our home as well. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Until then, take care and God bless.